Hi, everyone. This is Christina Barr, and you're watching Black Tea News. Hello, everyone. Welcome to Black Tea News. I'm your host, Christina Barr, and today I have a special guest who's coming in. I'm very excited to have him in. Before I bring him in, I want to encourage you guys to go to blacktnews.com, check out different content that I have on the website, make sure you're sharing articles, and so on. Also, check out different merchandise that we have on the site. It's Christmas time. You might want to get this cool goat hoodie for somebody else. We got the Denounce White Supremacy, Defeat Joe Biden shirt with a list of his racist atrocities on the back. Also got some other cool stuff for you guys, so make sure you're checking out the website. And if you would like to support blacktnews.com, you go to blacktnews.com/donate. You guys know on Saturdays, I like to review TikTok videos and bring on someone from the community. And so today I am excited because I got AJ's rant.
That was a Chick-fil-A.
What? I love Chick-fil-A. You guys love Chick-fil-A. That's the Lord's chicken.
It's funny because I'm vegetarian. I don't eat chicken, but
what do you eat at Chick-fil-A, man?
I eat the waffle fries and the macaroni. So corny, I know.
So you are missing out, sir. So I'm glad to have you on. Our good friend Bert was like, you got to connect. He's so creative, and you are very creative with your videos and so on. So I'm glad that we have this time to connect. The first time we actually had to have a conversation was during your live when you were talking to
Jesus. Fun times with the communists and the crazy folks.
I thought we should be being paid $50,000 to flip burgers.
Oh my gosh, that was. And but it was a learning lesson. I know what to. I never talked to a communist before, so those were my first time. So I was like, okay, I know the talking points now. All of this extremism is sort of leveling out the system and making everyone equal. This fantasy that's never going to happen. Got it. Okay, cool. Got it. Message received.
There's a lot of them today, man. It's an epidemic, especially on TikTok.
Oh
people,
my gosh.
People are so proud of it. It's amazing when I'll argue about something like critical race theory and I'll go through all the reasons why it's bad. And then I'll get the communist vibes, and then they'll get offended when you mention like the tie to Marxism and stuff, like it doesn't exist. And then it turns out you dig a little deeper and they are Marxists. It's like, oh, that's why you're defending it, because you already agree.
Exactly.
They already agree.
Exactly. Oh my gosh, people are a piece of work, man. Sometimes I sit back and I wonder, wow, they're people really exist. They're really, they're like in real time. I'm talking to somebody who thinks like this. This was just a character that I made up. I didn't know this person. This is a real life human being. Wow.
I wonder how maybe because we are on global apps, so I don't know how skewed the perspective of everything is as well, because you may be talking to somebody from a different country who doesn't know all of our sort of landscapes and doesn't get to vote. So, but there's a lot of people wiser than a lot of people here who are overseas. So.
There's some dingbats overseas too.
Yeah, that's true. I was doing a live one time and someone was like, "Your country sounds messed up," and I'm like, "I wish I could
Oh
disagree."
my gosh! Like, America, y'all all right? We heard this, blah blah blah. And did you see the commercials with China and I forgot the other country that did like a sort of like feed Americans kind of like infomercial?
Oh, was that Germany or?
Yeah, I think it was Germany. I know one was China. I can't remember the other country. I was like, yo, we are officially a laughing stock.
No, even our poor folks know how to get fed with their cards, and they
right. You got social programs here. Like, come on, like really people like really doing this. Like yeah. I always tell people like, oh, Africa. I was like, take your ass to Africa. See how that works out. There's no social safety net, just so you know, except with the exception of South Africa. But other than that, you're not going to go there and just lay around and get fed. Like, you're going to have to literally work for your food.
My dad, my sister, my cousin, they went to the deepest slums of Kenya and saw some real poverty.
Jeez.
So
wow. Right.
We don't know what we have
until you leave it.
We need to have like some kind of program where we just send these communists over somewhere and see how they spend, and then they'll come back and they'll kiss the ground of the USA.
I'm like, it's a fantasy. This is not a reality. This is not how it works. It's like, this is not the butterflies and rainbows that is in your head. That's not how it works. That's not. It's not going to come true ever. And rich people are always going to find a way to get out of paying extra taxes. Yeah. Why? Because they have the money to hire the smart people to do it for them. God.
Yeah, it's always.
Really think they're gonna be like, okay, yes, you passed this law. We're just gonna give you all. We're gonna give you more money. No, they're gonna hire people to get them out of paying the money.
They can always give the money right now. They don't have to advocate like Warren Buffett. Like, yeah, we should pay more taxes. Like, why don't you just surrender your money?
All of a sudden, when such a philanthropist. Okay, yeah, great. You're writing that off on your taxes. Got it.
Yeah, exactly. You get all these champagne socialists who are just virtue signaling, crowding AOC as she wears her tax the rich dress.
Oh my God.
At an event where they're all paid these high tickets so they could get that off of all their taxes and write it off. And people are just like, yes, they're so brave. They're so stunning. They're so brave.
You realize she's one of them now, right? No, you don't realize that because you're too busy being enamored by her fame that you're not making her do her damn job.
Yeah.
Next.
Yeah. But okay, let's get into it. Let's start watching some TikToks and start laughing at some of these people.
Oh Jesus.
Okay, so this one is really appropriate for the sound. They found a really good use for this.
No concern of mine whether your family has, what was it again?
Food?
Ha! You really should have thought of that before you became peasants. We're through here. Take him away.
Funny, I used that sound when they did the $600 stimulus checks and everyone was mad. But the woman with her $14 a pint ice cream is classic. I was like, really? We're really still listening to Nancy Pelosi like she's one of the people.
Gosh, that was unbelievable. Oh yes, we're so happy. There's people who can't go to work because you won't let them work. You shut them down. It's like, here's all the ice cream. We're having so much fun in my house.
I was like, wow, that refrigerator is like someone's mortgage payment, or probably half the value of their home. And you're really sitting here telling people they can't go to work. Meanwhile, you haven't missed a paycheck. Yeah. But we'll leave it. Politicians have too much power.
Shoot, even she had super premium ice cream. Just think about Ben and Jerry's. That's not like super expensive ice cream, but it's on the higher end. And those people who own that is socialists. You have socialists selling you expensive ice cream, talking about capitalism, how evil all these people are, and you can't even get a pint of the cinnamon bun ice cream for less than $4.
Because I eat vegan ice cream. I eat the vegan Ben and Jerry's, and that's like $7 almost. So yeah, it's expensive in my world.
I mean, I wouldn't buy it unless it was on sale anyway. And I'm just like, they're so crazy. I'm just gonna have to give up cinnamon bun ice cream, which is probably the best for my figure anyway. But man, that is a good ice cream though. I gotta say, maybe these socialist elitist types know their ice cream.
Of course they do. Well, please, they know brands we probably can't even pronounce. They probably have it in their freezer right now. Like, come on, like really, people, y'all really think these people really care about what you eat or how you eat? They're eating things that we don't know. They're eating great stuff, high quality, high grade, the best of the best. Yeah. You think Maxine Waters sent her damn kids to the same Compton high school that you're going to? No.
Did you see the news talking about how we need to maybe we could consider not buying turkeys this year because of inflation? Did you see? They're trying to suggest, I guess, how to save or whatnot. They're like, you cannot buy a turkey. And I'm like, and I could die tomorrow too, but I'm going to buy a turkey for Thanksgiving.
Jesus.
Like, you better figure this out.
And just the way that people will explain everything. Like,
it was NBC, man.
You don't realize this is bad. Just say it's bad. You know, if more of us are saying it's bad, then we could actually fix the problem. But we're just playing politics no matter what. No matter how bad inflation gets and no matter how bad these prices get on everything, we're just going to sit here and advocate for the party for the people. I'm like, oh my gosh, shut up. I can't do it.
And Brian Stelter and like, there was another news reporter too. They were tweeting out like people at the grocery stores buying stuff. And they're like, oh, I thought you said the supply chain is broken. And it's just like, we're getting our milk from here. Like the supply chain, like overseas, like that's different than like being upset that the price of milk is high. Like it doesn't seem like you guys understand the issues that we're talking about.
They don't. They don't. We're just waiting for our treadmills, according to our press secretary.
They say the supply chain is broken, but they went outside and milked their cows. Like,
first of all, yeah. First of all, like, that's where I'm liberal. Like, I ain't killing it. I ain't plucking it. I ain't cleaning it. No, we good. I just want it ready. That's it. Absolutely. Ain't got time for that. Ain't got time for that.
Okay, let's here is another video. This one is kind of fun. This one's pretty funny.
Oh Lord.
I'm gonna need you to put your mask on.
Yeah, but I'm still eating.
Well, when you're done eating, I just need you to put your mask on. Sir, if you're done eating, I'm gonna need
Yeah, but I'm still eating. It's cheese fondue.
Okay, well, when you're done eating, I need you to put your mask on. Okay, sir, it's time for you to put your mask on.
It's actually time for shish kebab. I'm still eating.
Okay, well, when you're done eating, I need you to put your mask on.
Hey, to
what is going on here?
Happy birthday.
Oh, it's my birthday. I'm still eating.
Make a wish.
Make a wish. Make a wish. Make a wish.
I need you to get your mask on. I need everyone to get back in their seats.
We have now landed. You may remove your mask.
I'm sorry. I know I laughed all over that.
He had another one that was also about
too,
but man, these people are I haven't been on a plane since the pandemic, so I don't know how bad it is. I guess
I'll be on the mofo on Thursday. I'll be like, yep. It'll be the first time I've worn a mask in a long time. So I got a nice one from the Target that you pull up to like here. So this way I just pull it down and have my little, and then put it back up. But I'm flying first class too, so I get to walk in and like eat right from the start. So I get to walk in and just have my cheese and my grapes, and I want a swig of wine and all that. Even though it's gonna be 8 o'clock in the morning, still I want
like in my wine.
Shit, I paid for it. Ticket wasn't cheap. Get my damn grapes.
I haven't been on the plane since it all started. But I was trying to go to Vegas when everything was, they're canceling all flights and everything was cheap, and they just wanted people to be able to go somewhere. I'm like, okay, bet we're gonna get a ticket for $30. We're gonna go to Las Vegas. We're gonna get something to eat, then we're gonna come home.
Not.
We ended up canceling the flight, so we got our money back. But we're like, we can. It's super cheap. Let's just go to Vegas. But at that point in time, we're like, they're closing everything down, so we didn't even know what we would do. But we're just like, well, we're just gonna get on a plane and go and figure it out. Everyone else. That's when the fear and the panic was really, really real. Were you ever concerned during the pandemic? Were you ever concerned?
No. I was annoyed because I was in LA and they shut everything down and they had curfews. And then it was just like the way we were overreacting, you would have thought there were like dead bodies just laying in the street like Thriller. And I'm like, what are we reacting? Like, I get it that there's a problem, but this is just doing the most right now.
Yeah.
And then I'm not like a regular, I don't work for anybody. I'm not 9 to 5. If I don't work, I don't eat. So I'm like, y'all can't shut down how I make my money. So they shut that down. I was like, I'm out of here. Like, Texas, here I come, baby. Like, come out of here. I was looking for an excuse to get out of this BG anyway.
Oh, so you're a refugee now from
And you know, I get double in Texas because I'm a New Yorker by way of Los Angeles, and they really don't like that. Like, oh my God, you're a New Yorker, ain't moving from LA. I was like, don't worry, I'm not here to ruin your state, sir. I'm good. I'm one of the good ones.
Yeah, I don't know. They're so lost, man. Like you had the recall and then that failed, and
Oh my God.
that was pretty amazing. And someone was looking at the numbers and they did a TikTok about it. So many people were like, fraud. Which there was like a crazy story or two that reported on the news. But someone pointed out like, hey, the number that Trump got for his votes is greater than the number of people who voted in the recall. So if you had just had everyone else come out for the recall, you wouldn't be governor right now. And so
Wow.
I don't know how that happened. But these people still want to be bound. So people can't be delivered unless they're ready to say yes.
And I mean,
you can deliver if you're ready to say yes.
I am delivered.
But you gotta want
like gas prices. The other reason why gas prices are so stupid in California is because they had a gas tax on the ballot. Was it the 2016 election? And the way the question was worded, it was very confusing. So people said yes when they should have said no. And so they voted in another gas tax.
Wow.
Which then, so now they're not only dealing with all this, that now they're dealing with their own tax. I was like, I'm good, y'all. I'm good. I'm out. I have to, like New York and LA, I have to be in a certain tax bracket and comfortable. Until I'm there, I can't do it. I can't go back to work at 7 days a week just to pay bills. I'm good.
Yeah, well, in Michigan, our governor signed a pink tax, so now we don't have to pay the 6% sales tax on tampons and so on. And so she's like, yeah, for those people who have periods, she didn't even have the guts to call them women.
Birthing people.
And so they're like, yeah, we did this, and I'm just like, we'd rather have cheaper gas. Like, call up the energy secretary, who is our former governor, and just say, hey, what do we do about these prices? Like,
right.
Why don't you guys like do something about the gas tax or something? Like, get those prices down, because I don't really care so much about, because if you can't afford pads, you still can't afford pads because it's just 6% sales tax. They didn't make them free. And that's something I worry about once a month.
Well, you might want the higher end ones. You don't want the cheap ones.
I just filled up the car with $70, so I would just rather have something there. Jeez. And I'm so sorry to the world. I told, maybe it was Man of Justice, maybe last time we were on or something. Not the last time, maybe the time before. Somebody had told them that our energy secretary is the former governor of Michigan, and the era that she presided over is called the Lost Decade.
Jesus.
So the Lost Decade governor.
The Flint decade? Was that the Lost decade?
No, we're talking about the Flint water crisis. No, that was under Rick Snyder, but
okay.
So she was before him, but we just had a terrible economy, people fleeing the state.
Wow.
They got rid of our promise scholarships. Like, I passed the MEP and y'all won't even give me the scholarships. That was a little after, but I think I got mine, but other people didn't get theirs. So I mean, it was just a really bad time. It was really hard, and it's known as the Lost Decade. And yes, she's our energy secretary right now.
It's a damn shame. Wow.
And she's Canadian.
It just gets better, doesn't it? Just keep adding on.
It's bad, bruh. It's bad.
Oh, man. Yeah, I'm not looking forward to it. But it's not a long flight, so I'm all right. I'll be all right. And I'm in the front of the plane, so I'm all right. No masks. No, I mean, whatever.
Let's move on to our next video.
Okay.
infected a new body. Who's the poor soul? Who is it? Who is it, Sar? It's Joey. Dear God.
Oh gosh,
I want to know why COVID was listening to Tiny Dancer, but what was the significance of that?
Jesus, that whole, I mean, like, I didn't release my video on Aaron Rodgers because that was my own vanity reasons, but um, I was like, why is this any of my business what Aaron Rodgers has or not, or Joe Rogan or any, like, why is their health my concern? Like, why do I care? Like, it is not, their health issues between them and their physicians. That's it. It's nothing. Who the hell am I to tell you you should do something because I did it?
Dude, they were mad that he survived. Is what it seems like.
They were mad he wasn't in the hospital, placed on a ventilator, you know, dying, making going live on, they're just mad. They could not, make a narrative out of him. And when he proved everything wrong, you didn't just have to double down and act and just make a complete ass of yourself. But it's why is it so hard for people to just say, you know what, my bad, I was wrong?
Because there's too much narrative attached to it. So even if you admit that you're wrong,
right,
there's just too much at stake. Even
too
like
much moolah.
Yeah, the Rittenhouse thing, even though the jury's like not guilty, and everyone's like saying, well, this is what we suspected, but it's like you suspected it because he was not guilty.
Right.
So
no. If they had came back 5 minutes later, like OJ verdict, then fine. Yeah, you could say, okay, that seemed a little suspect. But no, they deliberated like a jury's supposed to do it. They came to an informed decision. They didn't just say, okay, walked in the room, okay, what y'all think? Cool. Walk right back out 2 hours later. No, they actually deliberated. What was it, 3 days? Three or 4?
I was concerned because it was taking so long. I'm like,
right. I was like, okay, they're clearly in there like hashing it out,
There was a rumor that was
supposed to do.
There was a rumor that someone was a holdout, and and I've talked to people who've done murder trials and stuff before, and if there's sometimes people cannot get there, especially if there's not some kind of lesser charge. Sometimes they'll go for the lesser charge to make themselves feel better, I guess. But if he was not guilty, I mean, if they rule it was self-defense, he's pretty much not free. So, but it was self-defense. He shouldn't have even been charged, in my opinion. There's ample evidence. It was clearly the prosecutors had tons of misconduct. But it's crazy how this story captivated so many people. I mentioned this today, on my show, and I'm just like, my dad called me a few days ago, and he said, "Oh, you wrote a really good article about it," and then he admitted that he thought that some of the assailants that Kyle shot were black. And my dad is not ill-informed, and he doesn't watch like left-wing media. But he's in Guatemala for a missionary trip, so they play. I don't know what they play on Guatemala, but CNN is like Mexico first.
Of course,
they definitely play CNN and stuff.
Of course.
So he said it's scary how the media has convinced people of whatever they want to be convinced with.
Because the confusion for me is these were 3 white men that got shot by a white man, but they weren't good people. It wasn't like these were great white folk, who was helping out the cause, and this crazy vigilante, as they like to paint him, came along and wanted to bust up.
Did you see Joy Reid compare them all to John Brown?
I can't take that lady. I've tried. I've really tried. I just can't stomach her. She is the most useless thing on television at the moment, besides The View.
I loved when Nicki Minaj came for her.
Oh my gosh. And I loved that, and I loved Nicki Minaj before that, but and yeah, I mean, she's problematic in some ways. I'll give people that. But other than that, I love that she stood her ground and she did not back down, and she's like, I don't give a damn. Like I'm gonna make an informed decision. I'm not just gonna go do this because you're telling me to do it. I'll do it if and when I'm ready. That's it, and that's the way it should be.
But you know what she said? The crazy thing is she said from jump that she would probably get it because she wants to tour. So she already conceded that she was going to conform to them. And they're like, she's dangerous because she told people to pray about it.
Well, I think where they sort of got with the whole testicle, the cousin testicle thing, I think that was just like, why did you have to add that in there? But other than that, because I don't know if I believed it. But I was like, I don't know if that was the cause of the vaccine or that sounds very STD-ish.
It sounds very, they wanted to get out of a marriage, so they made a story. That's what it sounded like. But she was, granted, it's social media, so everyone can see her stuff, but she was having a conversation with her fans even before it got to that point. So, and then she said that, and that's when they went crazy. But that's not why her spreading that thing about the testicles thing, which people reported weird things on the VAERS system. Right. But that's not why they hated her. They were mad because she didn't say everybody bow down and take it. That's what it is.
Do what you're told. Do what you're told. And I'm like, I've never seen a group of people so willful in just surrendering their civil rights and their medical rights. And like, are we just doing that? Are no questions asked? I can't ask anything. Okay.
I hated it last year. You know, I'm really glad, for example, like the Daily Wire and people are pushing against like the vaccine mandates. They did the lawsuit and so on. But I can't get over last year when Ben Shapiro tweeted out like, you shouldn't be going to churches. And basically we're like misrepresenting God and doing something evil if we do. and he tweeted, all of you who think that this is going to be a permanent thing, stop it. And all you people who are threatening to it, stop it. It's like, I'm like, dude, slippery slopes are slick.
Exactly.
So even though if you didn't respect people going to churches and trying to live their life, which I never missed a day, we actually added a day on the church. Like we stayed open the whole time. Like even if you don't like that people did it, you could at least say, you know what, they have a First Amendment right to do that, and at least respect that. So now things kept escalating. 15 days to slow the spread obviously was a lie. And they kept taking right after right after right, and they kept pushing it as much as we are willing to give, they took. So that's why we're in the situation now. And people, I don't know, people don't know where our governor is. Maybe she popped up today, but after she took a booster shot, and then she went missing for 12 days. Wow. And that happened to Newsom, right? He took a booster shot, and then people couldn't find him.
Exactly.
So, and Biden came to the state and she wasn't there, and there was like another thing that she was big that she missed. So I don't know. Maybe she's at a spa or something. Maybe she's at Tahiti or something. I don't know.
People are the hypocrisy annoys me. I can rant about it all day. Woo! I burned a little bit.
The macaroni?
It actually wasn't that good today. I was
really?
kind of disappointed in the macaroni today. And you know, when you don't eat meat, and you know the stuff you get has to be like on point, you know. Yeah. So the fact that it wasn't on point was like, yeah.
So why aren't you vegan? Or vegetarian?
I naturally don't like meat. It started when I was 12, and I haven't eaten meat since I was 13. So yes, it's been a couple of decades. That's all.
Okay. I can respect that. If you be like, this is evil to kill chicken.
Oh no. I'm not gonna be marching on the pier for the seals and all that shit. I don't care about any of that. I'm just very much like, this is a personal choice. You can sit across from me, eat your whole fish with the head on it. I don't care. Enjoy, live your life.
Listen, I don't know chicken, but I understand. It's some good chicken.
I have the fake chicken, although my brother's like, that's not chicken. Stop calling it chicken. I was like, I'm having buffalo wings. I'm having no buffalo wings. Those aren't buffalo wings.
You'll eat imitation stuff?
No, I'll only chicken. I can't do like the pork and the beef and the seafood. I just can't do it. But there's something about the texturized soy or the cauliflower they make into buffalo wings. I can do that. But no Impossible burgers and all that stuff for me. I'm good.
I heard it. Some people like it. I heard it was gross. I haven't tried anything like that, and I won't. On principle, I will not do it.
Makes me think of the Dave Chappelle special when he talked about the. Anyway, I'm not even going to go into that. But go ahead.
Okay. So I know you've seen this video and you did a response to it, but we're watch the original and comment on it.
Oh, did I? Okay, let's see. That's a bop though. I will say the song, it got a good groove. They mixed it well. The singer is a real singer. I was like, okay. I was like, good job. But she blocked me. I don't appreciate that.
She blocked you? She has a pretty big account. So what? Right? She's
like, wait a minute. How you gonna drop the grenade in the middle of the thing and then run away? Like, no. Like, stay there and deal with it. Deal with the repercussions of this, because you knew you was gonna get pushed back, and I knew you wouldn't have a clap back from me because you just weren't smart enough. But I was like, don't block me. I didn't do anything.
Before she got to include you in her sequel, she blocked you.
Well, I advocate. I always advocate. I always feel left out of these things. I always feel like, why don't people naturally, like the last one I was on, I had to advocate for it. I had to campaign for it. So I responded to what is it, Kun Kano? Is that how you say his name? I responded to his video, and I was like, how can I be down? And I guess whoever saw it and then put me in the next one, which then they took it down, but I got to at least stitch it before, and I got to accept my award as King Coon, when I do the raccoon. So it's cool.
It always kind of amazes me just how much they want to call you a coon or Uncle Ruckus, or Candace Owens is also a racial slur now too. Got that a lot. Or someone called me the little Candace. I'm like, I'm clearly much bigger than Candace, so how am I the little Candace Owens? Doesn't make much sense to me. And a couple people called me pick me this morning, because if you say I'm a pick me, but you say Republicans and conservatives are racist, so why would they pick me if if they're racist anyway?
Make that make sense, please, because like when on the live that you were on, when I was talking to the original guy and he and I were having a conversation, someone had sent me one of his videos, and he was just like, he was trying to be satirical, but you were just being mean. And I was like, satire is not this. This is just being mean to people. Satire is you take something and you amplify it to this ridiculous degree where it's just hilarious as hell, but you're not insulting the person or the group or whatever. You're just making a mockery of something that was said or they did or whatever. And you're just being mean to people. And so when I responded to him, I was surprised he got back to me, and he put a video. He's like, all right, now stitch this video and say what you want. I said, no, I want to go live with you. Because I think that discourse, when people make videos, it's just they only listen for the things they don't like in your video. Yeah. And then they amplify what they don't like, and then you amplify what you don't like, and then basically I just screaming. So how about we just have a conversation? So I was glad he was open to that conversation. So it was cool to have that discourse with him. And I learned some things about rural America. Okay, cool, whatever. But I was like, not for me, but it's good to know that the funding and the issues are out there too. And we got a lot of work to do, but just do better with your work. It's like, you're gonna call it satire, make it actual satire. And before you label all conservatives, and I'm pretty sure he probably went right back to what he was doing, but I haven't checked up on his page, but I'm sure he probably went right back to the ignorance.
Just because you're deflammatory and you're provocative doesn't make satire. Like, I got into a huge debate. I don't know if you saw the Netflix salute to abortion, because someone said no one celebrates abortion. I was like, okay, bet. And then I posted Netflix when they were doing a salute to abortion. They're like, God bless abortion and God bless the USA. So people are like, this is just a joke. Why would you, it's satire? I'm like, this is not satire. This person is totally pro-choice. She's not mocking pro-choice. Right. I'm like, tell me where the joke is. It wasn't even, there weren't even jokes in the segment. So I'm like, it's not satire. I know what satire is. It doesn't fit the definition. And just because you're being provocative doesn't mean it's
right, or it's funny, or it's good, or it's of quality, or that it makes sense. No, it's not satire. It's jackassism. How about that? Let's
You know,
go.
when I was in high school, I was in the journalism class, and so they decided that they wanted to do satire. I graduated in '07, and
Mhm.
so I think this is senior year, and they wanted to do. It was April Fools. We had a paper that came out once every month. So since it was April, they wanted to do like an April Fool's issue. They wanted to be like satirical, so they wanted to cover people who were talking about running for president. And so they're like, okay, well, let's mention Hillary and just write how Hillary can't be president because she's a woman. And let's talk about Romney because he can't be president because he's Mormon. And let's talk about Obama. He can't be president because he's black. And I'm just like, whoa. I'm like, this is not satire. This is not satire. I'm like, it's not satire.
No.
And this was a white school. It was like there's only
Lord,
like 10
Jesus.
kids in my graduating class, and I'm like, part of our assignment was getting people to subscribe. I'm like, I can't imagine my aunt like getting the newspaper being like, oh, like, and I'm like, and I'm the only black kid in the class, and I'm like, this is not cool. And they did not listen to me, so I went to the principal. And I said, you got to see what they're doing. And he told me something, and I know people are going to get offended, and I don't want to get him in trouble, but I'm going to mention it. And please, I don't want people to be offended, but he told me something that I live by, and please let me explain before people flip their lid. He told me this, and I kept it with me in my heart to this day. He said, white kids are stupid. and I just took that as sometimes they do things because they don't understand. And I tried not to take it personal, like Jesus, like forgive them for they know not what they do.
Right.
That's how I took it. So I'm not saying all white people are stupid. That's not what I'm saying. But that's how I like internalized what he told me. And so he pulled it, and they were so angry, like, oh my gosh, the principal censored us. And the funny thing is, all these folks were liberals in this class, and they wanted to write how the black guy was too dumb to be president. And so when they were talking about it really angry, I just got up out of my chair, and I gave a speech of a lifetime, and I said this was not satire. I told you guys that there was a problem with this. I'm glad it was taken down because you guys wouldn't listen to me, and my aunt could have got this, or somebody I know in the NAACP would have been up here talking how racist it was. And you know how white folks are, they were just like, they were so scared. They didn't know what to do. The editors didn't know what to do. The teacher didn't know what to do. And then I didn't know what to do when I was done. And so I just like walked out of the classroom, and I didn't come back to the next day.
Bigger picture, people. Bigger picture. You know the level of talent you have to execute that? like, if y'all not rocking on a Chris Rock, George Carlin kind of talent level, then don't touch it. Just don't touch it.
It was such a bad idea, but I couldn't get over them not why won't you listen to the one black person in the room? And how come the teacher's not listening either? Like,
right.
It was so crazy. And then they were mad at the principal. He is a conservative, by the way. He was really good to our family. He was really good to our family.
It's like, no. You got to have immeasurable talent to execute that. I'm sorry. No. Just can't do that in a high school little production. No.
So forgive them, Father, for they know not what they do.
Like that, but that was just dumb. I'm glad.
But I bet all those people had BLM in their profile last year.
And rainbows and shit.
And pronouns.
Like, oh my God. Like, oh, I saw your Jacob Blake stitch.
Oh, the girl that was alive.
Yo. And this is how, and okay, going right back to I'm not gonna say white people are dumb, but going back to that point. There you go. Like, really? So who's Jacob Blake? Could you point him out if he walked in the room right now? Right. Shut up,
he's
girl.
The skeleton. He's the ghost. Just floats away. Because he's dead, apparently.
Did you know who he was? Did you didn't even know the damn man was still alive? Like, really, people, we really doing this.
I understand that people care about these issues. I do, but how can you care so much if you're not informed? You know, I always go back to like the 2020 election in that last debate when they were talking about how there's still kids separated. And Trump's like, some of these people didn't come over with their parents. They came over with coyotes. And like on Twitter, everyone's
oh my gosh.
coyotes. How did that coyote bring
first time hearing the term coyote?
And I'm like, and it was elected officials. It was a bunch of verified people that who thought he was literally talking about Wile E. Coyote, man. Wile E. Coyote.
Oh, that annoyed the hell out of me. I'm like, really?
And I'm like,
y'all have never heard of coyotes.
And how many of those people had already voted by this point? And I'm just like, we're doomed. We're doomed. We're doomed.
America is doomed.
For all the people out there who find it like impossible that 80 million people could have voted for Joe Biden, there's that many dumb people in the world. I'm sorry. It's true.
Dumb and emotional. Yes, dumb and emotional will get you 81 million votes.
They're like, get your ballot right now. Turn it in. Get your ballot.
Now,
right
I just want to see you repeat
before the ink is dry. Like we can't even like get your ballot. Turn it. Do you even want us to fill it out? Like, get your ballot right now. Turn it in.
Now do it again, Joe Biden.
Oh my gosh! You know he's planning on running again, or that's what he's talking about. I'm like, are you going to be alive?
He is clearly not running the show. He is not running the show. It is so obvious.
It is obvious. He got off the plane the other day and was like, the jury made their decision. We got to respect the jury. He put out a statement. Oh, it's sad. I'm like, who wrangled? Like, who choked you and said, you listen to me? It's like some elder abuse going on. They're like, you better put out.
So clear that he didn't get his marching orders before he made the first statement. And then they were like, oh, we'll just retract it here. Just say this. And then he went and said that dumb shit. Like, yo, this is so dumb. I just like, at this point, it's just choosing to be ignorant. Yeah. You know, like with all of this access, like the internet is actually the great equalizer if you think about it.
Yeah.
And so it's like literally information or, you know, common folk wouldn't have had access to, you have access to now. And it's like, so there's really no excuse at this point, but whatever.
Speaking of Biden,
oh Lord.
Yeah, I want to play this because I don't know how many people have seen this before.
And it makes a big difference to tell the American people the truth about what our options are in ending this war. If tomorrow the order goes out from I'm President of the United States, I issue an order, end the war today, begin to withdraw all American troops. It will take a year to get the American troops out. Do you hear me now? That's the truth. It will take a year to get them physically out. Now, if you leave all the equipment behind, you might be able to do it in 7 months. And you leave those billions of dollars of weapons behind, I promise they're going to be used against your grandchild and mine someday.
Ladies and gentlemen, 2021.
He knew. They knew. There's no question they knew how bad that would be, but it's amazing there are receipts.
Like, but wait a minute, this is also the beauty of the internet. You can pull up your receipts from the shit you thought was long gone, no one's ever gonna remember you said it. And it's like, oh well, when you ran for president, I don't know which time that was, the first or the second, you said this, which pretty much mirrors what's going on right now, but you blame the last guy.
You know what's crazy though about like politicians? They'll get up and say one thing and then they'll try to retract it or they'll pretend it didn't happen. Right. Is the fact that we have access to internet, there's TV, everything is recorded. So it's just like, if you say crazy stuff during the primary while you're running against other Democrats that out-left each other, and then you run like Biden, like, yeah, we're gonna shut down all the oil and stuff. And it's like, and then the media, they're trying to, do cover for him. And like, no, he never said that. And Trump has to literally go to rallies with big projectors saying, let's play the clip of Joe Biden.
Let's go to the videotape. Bam.
And then what? As soon as he gets in, he was like, executive order.
Right.
let's ban some oil. And it's like, oh my gosh. And then the other day he's like, did you ever think gas prices would be this high?
No shit. Like, really? Oh, Joseph Robinette Biden Jr., you're a piece of work, man. And I just, and then like even Kamala, I want to say it right. Kamala, when they were debating and she made up the whole drama about being bust. And then when they came double back when she was now VP.
It's a debate.
It was just a debate. And then now you screaming racism because you fucking up. I'm sorry, can I say that on here?
It's okay, it's over. Yeah, it's amazing people trying to run cover for her. I'm like, she's just unpopular. No one liked her in the Democrat primary. That's why she dropped out before she got embarrassed in California. Tulsi Gabbard just like slit her.
Oh, that was the
elbows,
best.
wrists,
Oh, that was the best.
It was amazing. That moment lives in my head rent free.
That was the best moment, and that's when I knew. I was like, Tulsi, you need to come on over. Just come on over.
She's saying a lot of things that make a lot of sense right now, man. Right. I wonder what her play is. But they're so crazy because I'm like, when I first saw her, really paid attention to her, I'm like, she's served, she's pretty, she's young, she's got the cool X-Men hair. She does have some opinions that I still feel are radical, but she comes off in a pretty non-intimidating way to a lot of people. So I'm like, this is someone that we should be concerned about. And I don't think if Trump was going against Tulsi, he'd be like, he'd have to change up his tactics. Maybe.
Oh, absolutely.
He couldn't just go in angry old man like he did at Joe Biden.
Because she's not part of the machine. So yeah, right, exactly.
But they wouldn't have her. They wouldn't have her. And I'm like, you guys are crazy. You guys.
Because she wouldn't do what they wanted. That's why, you know how it is. Like in the game of politics, the politics in the game of politics. It's like, well, who's gonna? Of course, Kamala is gonna do everything that you say because she wants power so bad. At least the illusion of power. She's the most
insincere politician.
Oh my God, that laugh! It is the most annoying thing that I've heard in life.
How can you not even have a conversation with children about NASA without hiring them? Did you hear that?
I saw it. That was cringe.
Like you hired them from a Canadian casting company? Like, really?
That was cringe.
We're gonna see stuff with our own eyes.
Oh my God! And it's like,
don't we?
They're actors, and you're acting.
Don't we always?
Terrible, lady. I was like, it's so bad.
Oh my gosh!
And it's just like it looks so forced and so staged. And so it was so manicured that it was laughable. And it was like, why are you doing this? Why are you doing this? Like, what is the point of this? Like, to make you relatable? Because it ain't working. You're just not that. You're just not that girl. Like, everyone sees your facade. You weren't a black woman until you ran for president. It was like, really, we're playing these games. But we know black people are emotional. And they're going to vote for you on the aesthetic and not the substance. They're going to make you a rock star, not make you do your job. So y'all bank on all of that. But anyway, whatever.
So here's another TikTok that's pretty funny.
Biggest turn off?
My biggest turn off is facial hair.
I probably don't tell you this enough, but thank you for the protection.
Oh, the gays.
I don't think you can blame that on the gays. I think that is just something else, man.
Oh, the psychos like this one, yeah.
I mean, it's the whole furry thing, right? Got goth, weird. I don't know, man.
You put that on and said, I look good. And that, I mean, what is the thought process behind this? I mean, I used to dress a little crazy, but I ain't ever did this. What are those boots?
Those look like open-toed, like. Oh, are they green? Are they green boots, or are they like open-toed with the socks? I can't tell.
That's just, and talking about like, people kill me with that. I don't. What did he say? He don't like facial hair.
Yeah.
I'm
That's
sorry.
a turn off.
Should I call him he? I don't know. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. You know, it is what it is. You know, correct me if I'm wrong. You know, I don't know, but people kill me when they just think they just have these. I mean, we all have choices, but just know in society where you rank, and you know how people ultimately view you, and what's actually available to you. We all have a market. You know, it's cool. Work your market, but please, like, men with beards are really checking. Let me shut up. I don't know. just. Man, just. Yeah, I'm at a loss.
Okay, this is the last one I got for you.
Not a valid excuse to not support BLM because of the rioting.
Leave it to some dude sitting in a gamer chair to be telling us how we need to get up and actually do something. First of all, I'm a former gang member turned political activist. I'm actually out here in the streets and I've seen the aftermath of Black Lives Matter and Antifa, Seattle, Portland, and Olympia. So that's pretty much doing more than I think you've been doing sitting in that gamer chair. You guys tell us how we need to support Black Lives Matter. Meanwhile, Black Lives Matter don't even support Black lives. They've literally been exploiting black deaths and using all of that money to help themselves. So again, tell us how we should be supporting that movement when the movement don't even know what's going on within its own movement. You guys need to get it together. Nobody's going to follow you when you're literally using racism to fight racism. Get it together, bruh.
Fighting fire with gasoline.
Wake me up before you go. You know, see the Zoolander when they're having the gasoline fight and they light the match.
Wow. I mean, you know, people move the goalpost on BLM so much that at this point, I'm just like, bottom line, you know it don't work. You know it ain't for you. That's all you need to know. I don't have to ask any more questions after that. And the fact that they still have not been required to justify where all that money went. I mean, paint costs money, but y'all didn't buy $90 million in paint. So y'all was a little, you know, just to shut y'all up. But y'all, like I said, y'all got a bunch of symbolism. Y'all got some murals painted on the ground that y'all did yourselves. Y'all should have made the white people do it. See, you gotta be smart about it. If you're gonna, like, why would y'all paint your own mural? Like, make someone else do it. Like, duh. And then, what was they got the statues, the beautiful statues of the criminals. And so why would I want to erect a statue of George Floyd? What the that tell my child? Aspire to be this? Like, no, like this is not a person who gets to be on a mural with Malcolm X and Martin Luther King. He didn't do the life's work of Martin Luther King and Malcolm X. I don't get stuff like that. Yes, he died horribly. No one's justifying how he died. Let's be clear. But his life was ratchet.
Yeah.
He was a horrible person.
For sure.
A drug addict. And if Derek
his drug dealer was in the car with him, bro. Did you know that?
I knew someone was in the car. I knew two people were in the car. I didn't know who. And I thought it was a lady and a dude was in the car with her.
But the crazy thing about all this was that everybody knew. No one said he did the right thing, though there was procedures and stuff that was, I guess, permissible. And actually, if you watch the trial, he wasn't actually on his neck, so that blew me away because he's like on his shoulder. So I'm like, our lying eyes lied to us too. So that was a big thing as well. So that really blew me away. But most people are still like, even if I don't think man actually got a fair trial, but most people actually don't.
Of course he didn't. I mean, when you have this jack from California coming up to the mother city talking about if y'all don't put the right verdict in, we gonna burn it down. Yeah, you think this jury's not sequestered in this high-profile trial. So everybody can see them. They know they know where they live. They can easily dox them. All of this on with a trial at this level. And you mean to tell me you have congressmen and people and elected officials and musicians and entertainers making commentary on this? This doesn't make any sense to me. Like, that jury should have been sequestered. They should have had time to really deliberate.
You had an activist on the panel too, like,
right?
jury.
Exactly.
So I mean, so it wasn't a fair trial, but a lot of people still don't even care knowing that, which isn't really right, because people say they want justice, but they don't actually care about justice. But
no, they don't want justice. They just
but a lot of people still feel like he got what he deserved. Like, no one like watched it and was like, that was the right move to do, bro. Like, nobody felt like that, but it was still like a huge racial story. But you know what they didn't include in the trial? A racial angle, because they didn't have any evidence that it was racially motivated, that it was a hate crime. So even though we had this big, not even national, it was a world story.
Internet, it was all over.
But the narrative that was surrounding it, that sparked riot after riot after riot, and started a chain reaction that even got us to what happened to Jacob Blake and the Rittenhouse trial, that people are still spinning like he's a white supremacist, though he went there to protect the businesses of brown people. You know, they're just still pushing that narrative, and it's so bizarre, and it's so bizarre. And there's statues of him, but they're tearing down like our founding fathers and stuff, and
like, you know, it's all relative. So you can't. This is other things that I don't get. It's like people think you have to cancel the 4th of July in order to celebrate Juneteenth. You can do both.
Yeah,
they're both part of American history. Do both.
You know, I've been celebrating Juneteenth for a while. I don't like how they are politicizing it, obviously, and they're obviously trying to replace the 4th of July and make it so that Black people celebrate Juneteenth instead and have this funky attitude about it. But I'm like they quote like the Frederick Douglass's 4th of July speech, like, you know, what is 4th of July? And I'm like, did y'all read that speech? Because he I'm like, that's a pretty profound speech, and he had enough sense to deliver it on the 5th, not respect the 4th of July. All these people want to cancel 4th of July when he gave his speech afterwards, and the conviction that he had, like, saying that speech was just kind of like, we got to do something. I'm sick and tired of like how the world is. Like, it's a great country, it's and all this other stuff, but we have this evil we have to face. And to me, it felt similar to how when I talk about like pro-life issues. Like, I love America, but we have this really evil thing that we do.
Right.
So that's the vibe I got. Not let's cancel the 4th of July.
Oh no. People don't take the full context. They just take the excerpt they like. And, you know, this is all of it. And even like with Malcolm X, me and Malcolm X, and now that I'm posting more Malcolm X, because I really hesitated at first, but I was like, this was one of my first influences. So, and like the Ballad and the Bullet speech is something that I've had in my life since I was like 12. So I was like, no, I'm not new to the rodeo. Some other people may be, but I hate people coming like, they're like, yeah, all of a sudden everyone's quoting Malcolm X. I said, no, you're not listening to Malcolm X. That's the whole point. Mm-hmm. And it's like, I've listened to this. The speech is almost an hour long. And if you actually listen to it, there are parts of it I don't agree with, but also there are parts that I can put in the time frame in which he lived in. So it's like, you have to understand all of that to understand the greater message of the speech. And that's what people don't get. It's like, it's not about, oh, be Republican. It's about make better choices. That's the ultimate goal. That's the ultimate message in the speech is Black folks in bulk are not politically mature enough to make decisions. And until we become that way, we need to hold our votes. And I'm like, y'all know that's an option, right? Holding your vote is an option.
Yeah.
And so it's like, if y'all have this block of votes that is that influential and can sway an election one way or the other, why would you not use that to your advantage? Why would you listen to a Black person that Malcolm X told you they were going to hire? He said he was going to hire Black folks, right? They were going to hire Black folks that look like us to front and act like they're for us, but they're really not. They're hired pawns. Here to push the agenda of somebody else. But because they know we're emotional people, they put these folks in front of us and we say, oh, yes, Auntie Maxine. No, she is not Auntie Maxine. That motherfucker is a congresswoman and she should be treated like one. I know I'm cussing.
Yeah, I do have a censor button, but I'm like really slow on it. So I'm just like, okay. Like I'd be blurting out the wrong word. So
I'm sorry.
But yeah, it's crazy. And the people came after Ice-T for not Ice-T,
Ice Cube
for saying the same thing. Just like be aware of how valuable your vote is. And the crazy thing is he's like he talked to Trump's team and the Biden team was like, we can talk afterwards. It's like after I have no leverage. That's not how negotiations
right.
work.
That's not how you negotiate.
That's not how you
have
negotiate.
No leverage. You mean after I give you the one thing you want?
But that just goes to show you how little respect they had for him, for the Black community, and so on, because they just expect you to get in line. And Joe Biden told you that when he said you ain't Black. Like, oh my God. If you even think about it.
Did you hear that Zoom call right after he got elected with the Black leaders? Al Sharpton was on the call, and I'm sitting there like, nobody heard this call. Like,
some people were talking about it. And I think I wrote about like a couple weeks after, I don't even know it was a couple weeks, but I wrote an article that was really popular on my website. It was like people with Biden regret, and people were like, "Oh yeah, let me read this." And that was like what I named. Like some people had concerns about how he was talking and dealing with people. So
right, jeez, it's like. Oh, so this is the Joe that shows up after the election, but we already told you this. And I even think Conscious Lee said he made a video.
Yeah.
And I was like, we told you this. We specifically told, this is not new news. This happens every election cycle. We say this every election cycle, and y'all continue to do it. So until y'all learn the lesson and understand that you're not gonna die if you don't vote for a Democrat.
Yeah.
Not automatic. Your life doesn't
automatically.
You know, oh my God, let me just go. No, you have to look at context. Is your community better? Is your lifestyle? Is the government overreaching? If so, you're the people with the power. Make your power worth your while. Stop giving away your power. Oh my gosh. But yeah, Ice Cube was a classic example. He presented his platform to both campaigns. Well, to the Biden campaign and the Trump administration, and Trump said, "Cool, I'll take it," and let's meet. And actually, he's like, "Actually, I'm working on something similar, so let's put the stuff together."
I can't get over that Trump was like, "Hey, how about I get y'all some billions of dollars?" And we were like, "No, we good, sir. we gonna go with this white supremacist over here."
Because LeBron James, who ain't wanting for a damn thing, said don't vote.
Oh my gosh. I was like, no, I believe that the Republicans and everyone would have been like, oh yeah, sure, let's do it. Like, no, I guess not. But do I believe Trump genuinely wanted to be like, sure, I'll give billions of dollars to the Black? I absolutely believe that Trump wanted to pass the platinum plan. And some people are like, well, if he really felt like that, he would have already passed it. I'm like, Trump already did stuff for Black people. What are you talking about?
Like, right, because y'all want everything to just be handed to you. It's like, no, you actually have to go look something up. You actually have to go network. You actually have to go out in the world and socialize. It's not just gonna fall from the sky or right onto your phone screen like, oh, okay, great, I should apply for this. No, it don't work like that. You actually have to look stuff up. Damn it. Oh my gosh.
Now, I'm a fiscally conservative person as far as government goes. So do I think he should have been spending all that money? No, but I'm like, this man pees in golden toilets, so he's gonna spend it. He might as well give it to me, I guess.
I was like, this is his wayward version of reparations. Okay, whatever. Let's work with it, you know. But if that's what you're looking for and someone's giving it to you, is he really the white supremacist, crazy, psychotic, xenophobic person that they're telling you he is? Or is he actually a person who gives a damn about you? And even though this is government overreach, and I may not be the biggest fan of it, okay, it's a solution to something, you know.
Yeah.
And clearly the party that you've been backing for 5 decades comes every 4 years. We're gonna do this. They give you a Beyonce concert. It's all fun. You know, they have the best rappers, everything. And then you get nothing. And the worst thing y'all did with Barack Hussein Obama is you didn't make him do his job. You made him a celebrity. Damn it. Anyway.
And he so wanted to be a celebrity so bad.
Oh, he's a rock star. Like he could literally just do anything he wants at this point. But y'all didn't make him do his job. Y'all didn't make him earn your vote. And I remember it was an aid for Michelle Obama, and they were like canvassing, trying to figure out, where Barack isn't doing too well, and try to get him, try to rally up some votes. And they was like pointing to Black communities, and Michelle was like, "No, we don't got to do that. We're good." And I was like, is that how you want people to approach you? That's in the bag. I got it.
Yeah.
That's how you want people to view you? Because there's no guarantee. With AJ, I have follow-up questions. I got a few questions I would like answered.
Even people who are already on your side want to feel like you value them. Like I would go to events and there'd be like a candidate that's already like basically going to be a shoe-in for a nomination, or they already got it, and they're like, "Hey, we noticed they're not showing up to any sort of events, and they're and we aren't seeing them." And they would complain. I'm like, "Yeah, I get that." People want to feel like you care. Right. It's really not hard. Politics isn't hard. You just have to make the people feel like they care, like you care about them, and
exactly.
And they'll tell you what they want if you're willing to listen. Like, and if you can't represent them, you don't need to be their representative.
Exactly.
Like, really, that's how it works.
Exactly.
It's super easy, but people are so selfish and they can't figure it out.
Even with Trump, they're like, if he runs in 2024, you're going to vote for him. I said, I have to hear his platform, and I have to hear who else is coming up in that race. I have to hear everybody. I'm not just going to be like, yeah, he's a shoo-in. I'm like, no, that's not how it works. It's not just a guarantee because I voted for you before. No, that's not how it works. No, we're good.
Well, I'm still not. Are you convinced that he would do it? Because it's still a long ways away for him. And
it would matter to me. Well, first, who he picks for vice president, because we know Pence ain't gonna be it, and then it would have to be his platform, and it would have to be, does he still have all his mental faculties? Is he still capable? Because I think for a person his age, he's pretty sharp. I will give him that. But if all of that and anybody else coming up that you're running against, who's going to primary you. If they don't have great platforms or anything to talk about, and I'm done with establishment candidates, Republican, Democrat, otherwise, I'm good. If you've been in government more than 10 years, I'm probably not interested. But you would have to give a damn good, like, okay, I'm actually going to get in here and do something. And then you get one chance, maybe. But after that, I can't. But we need to, that's why we had a Trump, because it was new blood. It was a person who wasn't part of the machine. And that, you want something like that. I think Tulsi Gabbard would have been the great antithesis to that on the other side, because she's not part of the machine and the system. And she actually, there's a level-headedness about her, even though some of her positions are a little extreme. But there's something about her that's intriguing, not just the fact she's beautiful. But, whatever. We'll work with that. But aesthetics don't hurt either, Yeah. If the camera can hit you and you look great, hey, let's do it. All right. But yeah, Kamala.
Sometimes mine looks like a waxy monster.
Kamala. Wait, no. Kamala. You got to say it like the Indian way. Kamala. There we go. Kamala. I went back like 2 days ago, and because I remember they had like the Say Her Name campaign. And people did like several TikTok, say her name, Kamala. And it was like Black people, white people. And remember the chick from Broadway was singing the song. What's her name? The little short girl, the little white girl. She has a big voice.
Leah Michelle from like
No. She's an older lady.
The girl from Frozen.
Was it her?
I don't know. I'm just throwing out stuff. I
don't know Frozen.
You don't know Frozen? I
don't know Frozen. I don't know who sings the songs. I
never had to sit down with no kid and watch Frozen.
No. Told you, oh my. No, hell no.
I actually did like the first one. I hated the second one so much, though.
And here we go. There's a second one?
Yeah, there's a second one. And I hated it. And I sometimes annoy my nieces. I'll be like, I don't like Frozen 2. And they're like, no. I'm like, I hate it. I'm like, it's not good.
See, I didn't even know there was a part 2.
Yeah, there's a second one. There's a second one. It's
Jesus.
A lot of money.
See, you didn't even know. Wait, let it go. That's it, right? That's
Yeah,
the
the
song.
Let It Go.
Okay, I only know that one line. I don't ask me a lyric other than that. And I remember maybe the melody. Let it. No, that's the wrong one. That's another Let It Go.
Let it go, let it go.
Yes. But I don't know nothing about that movie. No, but was it her? She's a Broadway person mostly. Chenoweth.
Oh, okay, yeah.
She did a video, and she's like, da 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 da, say her name, Maya. And then she did a whole little ditty with the piano, and I was like, oh my god, this is nauseating. But I wonder if they still say her name.
You know what? The shade between her and Biden's team, it's like delicious. It's unspoken, and it must be pretty bad because like even CNN like started to kind of acknowledge the tensions, and like I think her comms director left, and someone like the Biden's comms left, and like I'm like, what is happening?
Well, you know who went in there and started busting stuff up? Our great race hustler, the granddaddy of race hustlers, Al Sharpton, went up in there trying to get Kamala some other duties, and he was like, y'all know this is an affirmative action hire. We ain't giving her no work. Like, we just gonna send her to do the shit that we don't want to do. I said it like that. The stuff we don't want to do.
Well, but you know what? That's what Obama threw Hillary under the bus with Benghazi and stuff, and she became the focus of everyone's hate. I'm like, but she lied for him. Like, I don't like her, but I'm like, how did that happen? Where people are like, Obama's so great, we love him. Like, and even Republicans like, I don't like his policies, but I like him. I'm like, why?
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 Because he's suave. He's a good
I think they probably don't, but they just don't want to be like, yeah, we don't like the black president. Like, right. That's what I think it is. I'm like, I don't like him. I don't like him.
That's the other thing. When we get in these positions, these powerful, high-ranking positions, and we still want to be coddled, do you realize the level of pressure that comes with power, the level of scrutiny that comes with power, the level of disrespect that comes with power?
Yeah.
No one's gonna coddle you, Kamala. Like no one's required to make you feel good when you walk in a room. You're here to do a job. You're here representing a nation, and that's what I need you to do. I don't need you to feel good walking in the room. That's not what. And people, she's not protected. Okay, y'all. I'm not gonna play these games with y'all. Y'all want equality, right? Do you know what comes with equality? Letting go the victim stuff. Ooh, I missed the curse word. I like that. I'm working on it. The victim stuff.
Somebody came at me because somebody did a rebuttal to like the Kyle Rittenhouse thing with someone who had a pretty big page, just like the crazy runner mom or something, I think is her account. And so I added her in my friend's video and said, she was trying to claim that the criminal history of like Rosenbaum and all them don't matter. But she brought up like Kyle's mom took him to get a beer one time. And I'm like, you think that's not relevant that he was being chased by a child rapist, but his mom got him a beer one time? And
wasn't there a fight with a girl or he?
Yeah, she brought that up, and the guy debunked it in the video. He was like, he was defending his sister. I mean, it was, and so I was like, I'm not gonna be too pressed about that, I guess. But I'm like, he did it when he was 15. That doesn't equate to him like going out and shooting people. It just doesn't, and it doesn't. Like the facts of the case speak for themselves. It was self-defense. But I'm like, and so she did a video reply to my comment in his video. And so people were coming at me. That's why people are calling me pick-me's, because that's, I guess, the kind of people who follow her. But and she was like, "You think that it's not relevant when his mother raised him to be how he is?" And I'm just like, "What kind of child would you raise?" I'm just like, what?
Oh wait, I think I saw her video. Is she the one who talked about Kyle threatened to kill black shoplifters or something?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I did see that video. That's like, yeah, because that's the community.
You know what you did, because I think you replied in it. Yep. You commented.
Yes, I think. Well, I be trying to just browse and be on the low, and I just got to come in and say something. But because I was like, well, yeah, that's the community I want to live in. Yeah.
But then somebody replied and it was like, they said, oh, you just want to hinge off of her fame or something. And I'm just like,
oh, people kill me with the clout. BS.
She replied to me. She replied to my comment. What do you mean? And they're like, yeah, now you're starting stuff trying to get attention from her. I'm like, she replied to me. I'm like, I would rather. I'm like, y'all be coming in here calling me all racial slurs and stuff. I would rather not have y'all attention. And this was like, oh, you can't take the heat now. I'm like, I can take the heat because I just mock the most of you. But I like at one point in time when I first started TikTok, oh, someone called me a coon. I'm like, haha, I'm gonna make a video about you. But it kept happening so much. I'm like, I can't make the same thing over and over again. So I'm like, you guys are just boring me now. I'm just bored. I'm bored. I'm like, I can't keep doing the same thing. Like,
I didn't do material. I need trying to go in the lab and come up with some new racial terms for me, please. Thank you.
That's my greatest crime on TikTok. If someone is like boring me, I'm like, okay, you're gone now. Like, I can't, like, you know, I don't want to waste too much time being too. I got like with my news stuff with the show and the TikTok, like it's a lot of work for like one person, and I cannot be so absorbed in the TikTok. Though I do love the app that I'm just like. So if you're like clogging up my stuff with dumb arguments and you're just going like, and if you're boring me, I like, that's the time when I may have to block you. I've blocked a lot of people in the past week or so.
Oh yeah, I was the sound. I've been blocking folks all day. Try your luck. Like, yeah, like I did a video about the who was the black dude, Andrew Coffey, who basically his verdict came in the same day as Kyle Rittenhouse. And everyone's like, oh, if he was black. And I'm like, well, this is a black man who says self-defense and he got off. Yeah. And the only reason why he's going to prison is because he's a felon and had a gun charge. Mm-hmm. So people, oh my God, you said all felons are dregs to society. I said, no, this felon is a drag to society. Now, I'm not going to tie it up in a nice bow and say it in a way that's poetic for you. No, if you want to be sensitive and cry river, that's your problem, not mine. That's not my problem. I was like, if you actually listen to what the hell I said, I never said all felon. First of all, if I said all felon, well, my father's a felon. My brother's a felon. And probably the only reason why I'm not a felon is because he didn't raise me. Oh, wow. So, and my mother was very clear. My mother was very, very clear. She said, if you get in trouble and you did it, don't call me. I was like, oh, okay, cool. And she said that several times. Now she said, if you didn't do it, call me. But if you did it, don't call me.
You know what? What is it that we don't have mothers like that nowadays? And it's just like, and when I was watching all the like the Black Lives Matter like riots and stuff, and people just running out stealing stuff, I'm like, there's not a mother on the planet that's just like, where'd you get that from? Like, what'd you do?
Oh, because
like.
Oh, hell no, that wouldn't have worked.
I'm like, how is all this happening? Who is allowing all this to happen? I saw a video. It was in San Francisco, and they were doing a show about people breaking into cars. So they put tracking devices on products, and there was one kid who stole a big speaker out of the car, and then the investigators chased him down. And they're like, you just stole our stuff. Give our stuff back. Give our stuff back. And then at one point he was like, let me call my mom. They're like, yes, call your mom. Call your mom. So he ended up giving it back. I'm like, why did y'all do coordination with the police so they could have arrested that kid?
Right.
And if he's young enough to be like, let me call my mom, it's like, sometimes kids need to be caught to know to stop, because if they feel that they can get away with it, they're going to keep doing it, go down a darker path, and they'll be a career criminal.
Right.
And then one day they'll just be locked up. And then there'll be some prosecutor or DA who wants to let them out because, well, there's so many blacks in the system. So it's like,
well, that's like homeboy that ran the people over at the Christmas parade. Yeah. He literally got out the day before on a cheap bond. And
well, I guess it was maybe 3 days ago now, but yeah, it was 2 days before the thing.
Gosh.
$1,000.
$1,000 and you're a free man. Okay. I know. Welcome to the oppression. You know, this is America.
Yeah, well, we've been on for a while, and I don't want to keep this forever, but can you let everybody know where they can find you?
AJ's Rant Room, everything right there. See that AJ's Rant Room? You put that in YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, TikTok. Oh wait, Instagram. Did I say Instagram? Well, if I didn't, or if I did, yeah, Instagram too. Just put that in there. And I'll come right up. Hi, me. It probably might be the Colin Kaepernick with the Biden face, but either way. I love that picture. It was so genius. Whoever did that was genius.
If I start talking about Colin Kaepernick, we're gonna be on here for an hour or two or whatever. So
well, he's the new crop of race hustlers, you know. You know.
I'm just gonna say I can't keep it in. I can't. If you supported him, you're a clown. You're a clown. How can you? This man compared a slave auction to being in the draft. You're a clown. He's a clown. Clowns. Oh.
I did a whole video about that on here on YouTube, and I was like, wait a minute. So slaves had the choice to show up? Because even if you opt out of the combine, there's still a chance if you have great film that you'll get a job. So you can opt out of the combine.
It was paying them millions of dollars to be a slave.
Right. And were the slaves paid like a wage that they could bring their families up out of poverty?
If they were paid that kind of money, you would have had some whites who showed up and like, I'm ready.
And I'm like, but what?
It's not the same
other thing that I said. What about the white players? They go to the same combine. So he made it seem like only the black players go to the combine. It's like, but wait, no matter what your race is, you go to the combine to be seen because you want a job, and this is part of the process. And if you don't want to be a part of it, that's fine. They're not going to hold it against you. Some teams might, but the point is you can still get a job if you're a great player.
It's just, I think in a fair world, if people held like any sort of standards of equality with people who they canceled, I think that would have been a moment where you would cancel somebody if he was on the right and made that kind of comparison.
I mean, I could just see Harriet Tubman slapping the hell out of Colin Kaepernick. Like, really, 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 you really think me walking miles and miles and miles in the wilderness compares to you being a multi-millionaire sitting in your bubble bath tweeting about oppression? Leave me alone. Leave me alone, please. I was like, oh, I wish I could talk to an ancestor right now. I really? I was like, hey, y'all, did y'all have this option? Did y'all have the option of showing up every time you want to make money? Because the only time we see Colin Kaepernick is when he's selling something. So I'm like, y'all had that option? Okay, right. y'all can take a day off. Y'all can literally take a day off and tweet whatever you want about the white man. Okay, cool, right. No, you didn't have those options. Stop it, Colin. You sound like a damn fool. Ugh.
We know he's a clown, but I just want everybody to know if you supported him at any point, you're like, he just wants to stand up for police brutality. You're a clown.
No. See, now here's the thing. When he first did it, because I watch football. I'm big football head. So when he first did it, I was like, okay, what's the call to action? Because usually when you make a grand, like when Rosa Parks sat on the bus, there was a call to action. So it was like, okay, there was a whole thing that was supposed to come together.
And she wasn't the first to do that. They just had a
plan. And she wasn't the first to do that, but she was the first to like really get the recognition for it, right? She was the first one that brought it to the ether. And so it was like, okay, the call to action came in and all these other steps came into play. There was no call to action except Colin Kaepernick got richer. He made more deals, corporate deals on top of that. He wasn't doing deals with nonprofits. He was doing mega bucks deals with Nike. And if you want to talk about slavery, let's talk about Nike. It's like, okay, so the 7-year-old that produced the shoe that didn't get paid to do it, or probably got paid pennies, who shouldn't be working to begin with, are you advocating for that person? Oh, okay, we're going to advocate for people who have been dead for hundreds of years, and we get to have it pretty good because of the sacrifices they made. Oh, no, we can't talk about it. Okay, Colin, leave me alone, man. I just can't. You're a corporate pawn. You are the exact prototype of what Malcolm X described, and people eat it up like kibble because what do? You know Black folks are emotional, and we love our feelings, and we love to look back, and wonder what happened and what our last names might be and who's gonna say it. And everything. I was like, okay, great. You look back for a moment, you think about it, you move the hell on. Okay, great. How can I make my life better? How can I make the next generation's life better? That's what you should be thinking about, not regressing and taking us back to a time and dividing us even more and making it even harder and trying to be this great equalizer, because rich people are just going to get richer and y'all are just going to get broker. Why? Because you're not smart enough to understand the corporate system. And you think that these people who represent you, they are the corporate system. Stop it. That's my rant.
Absolutely.
Oh, wait. No. I was going to say this. That's my TED Talk. Never got to say that.
My TED Talk. Again, I want to thank you for joining me. I had a lot of fun today.
Wakanda forever.
Wakanda forever. Oh man, everybody was doing that. I guess people still do it, but
Yo, I don't know if you've ever seen the video where I'm wearing those purple pants on my head. Those are pants that I'm wearing on my head with the African print. But I bought those damn pants because I had a friend in LA who wanted to do a Wakanda for his birthday. So he wanted to go see the movie, like a group of people go see the movie for his birthday. So I bought those damn pants out of swap meet.
You know, when that movie came out, we had I was the coalition's vice chair of the Michigan Republican Party. My sister worked at the RNC, so we put on an event where you got to see the movie for free. But before then, it was a business panel led by some Black Republicans. But people who came in did not know that it was a Republican-led event, and so we were talking about the benefits of the Trump tax plan. And so people coming in is like, woo! We're like, yes. And so of course we had like friendlies in the audience because we're like, hey, we got free tickets, see the movie. So people came. So, but it was like a 50-50 room. But by the time the presentation was over, someone stood up and was like, what's wrong with y'all Republicans that y'all ain't giving out this information so we can help our families? And I'm like,
did you go seek out the information?
Well, that's very true too. But I just told her, I said, you know what, we need to do better. That's all, because people think there's no point reaching out, so they don't, and that's just the truth. I know a lot of these big consultants across the country, and particularly in my state, and they just give up, and that's right. That's the truth of the matter. But I'm gonna leave it at that. Please go to check out AJ on his social media. He's on TikTok, of course. And I want to encourage you all, go to blacktnews.com, check out different content on the website, check out different stuff that he got, like the My Money, My Business shirts. We got the You Are Not Those Special mugs. I got different stuff with black tea. And we mentioned Frederick Douglass and his 4th of July speech. The Constitution is a Glorious Liberty document. That is from that speech. So go ahead and check out the different stuff we have on the website. Thank you guys so much. And I will see you next time.